Hi guys, Luke here of SimBoxx in association with Adrenaline Performance and Clint Patrick. This is my post-fight reaction to Demetrius Andrade versus Liam Williams. Just so you guys are aware, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you've not checked the fight out, I suggest watching the fight and coming back and checking this reaction out. So the fight, it was a unanimous decision victory for Demetrius Andrade, and still the WBO Middleweight World Champion. He was a unanimous decision victor. Two cards were scored 118, 109. The third card was scored 116, 111, all in favour of Demetrius Andrade. But I feel somewhat underwhelmed by the fight. I felt like it started off at 100 miles an hour. Demetrius Andrade came flying out the traps. He put Liam Williams on the back foot immediately. He was sharp. He was fighting out the southpaw stance, but he was comfortable switch hitting and going orthodox, and he was having success in both stances. He was catching Liam Williams with some beautiful uppercuts. In the second round, a sharp 1-2 dropped Liam Williams. It looked like the writing was on the wall and that the fight was close to being over. I think Liam Williams got up at something like 9.999 seconds of the referee's 10 count. There couldn't have been too many complaints had the fight been waved off at that point. But towards the end of the third round, Liam Williams landed on Demetrius Andrade, and maybe for the first real time in Andrade's 30-fight career, at 33 years of age, he was actually troubled, severely troubled, to the point where he could have been certainly on the verge of being took out had Liam Williams maybe stepped on the gas a little bit more. Maybe he didn't sense that Andrade was in trouble, and that's why he didn't really throw the kitchen sink at Andrade. Maybe he was wary of being counterpunched. But then throughout the fight, Demetrius Andrade would throw the uppercut with the left or the right hand, and if it landed, it was such an eye-catching shot. It was a beautiful punch. But other times, it was missing by miles. There was times when Demetrius Andrade didn't look interested in the fight. There was times when Liam Williams looked like he was one-tracked, and that he was just marching forward with no kind of plan B. I'm not really sure what Domingo was saying to him in the corner. Maybe they could have switched up their approach mid-fight when Andrade seemed to definitely take his foot off the gas, definitely seemed to be a little bit disheartened almost that he threw his best shots at Liam Williams, that he had him down in the second round, and that he didn't manage to get the job done. As it was, the fight continued. Liam Williams continuously marched down, and then round 7, round 8, Demetrius Andrade started to hold a lot, started to spoil a lot, looked quite uninterested, and that he was just trying to pinch around. He'd land some really good shots, put in some really good work, and then take a step back, admire his work, and frustrate Liam Williams. Not very eye-catching as a fan of boxing. And then in the 9th round, Liam Williams had his moment in the fight. He landed a right hook, and Demetrius Andrade, who sagged into the ropes, and Liam Williams didn't rush in the way you'd expect a Liam Williams to be the predator when he's got his prey hurt. Demetrius Andrade was able to tie him up. The referee should have, maybe, definitely, had spoke to Andrade, even if it was just a speaking to, maybe a point off for the excessive holding, the spoiling, turning his back on him at times, the ducking, the turning around. It was all very messy and very ugly from Demetrius Andrade, and given that he's supposed to be this bogeyman at the 160 pounds, 168 pound divisions, it didn't set the world alight, that performance tonight. He survived the 12 rounds, he spoiled his way, but the frustrating thing is he spoiled his way through the 12 rounds from maybe round 7 through to round 12, but at times he's shown his class. There is a fighter in there, but I don't think the will, the heart and the desire is there to match, which is quite ironic given some of the outbursts from Demetrius Andrade with various social media sites in the build-up to the fight that questioned his toughness. When the going got tough in there tonight, he looked to hold on, to spoil, and to avoid confrontation, which, if that's your mindset in boxing, you're in the wrong game. He retained his WBO middleweight world title. If he was affected by getting down to 160 pounds, you know, we know he was going to move up to 168 pounds last November. That fight didn't happen. Maybe he goes back up to 168 pounds. If he was struggling at the weight, that would make sense, because he did look, it wasn't just the punches that was landing from Liam Williams, because they was very few and far in between.
he looked to be gassing Andrade visibly, and maybe that is due to the weight cut. Maybe he would be more suited up at 168 pounds, but 160 pounds, the likes of Golovkin, Jamal Charlo, Daniel Jacobs, they're not going to be worried about a Demetrius Andrade the way we was told they would be in the build-up to this fight. Certainly from Eddie Hearn, that he was being avoided, that the big names didn't want to fight him, that he was a potential pound-for-pound ranked fighter in the world. I just didn't see that tonight. This could have been his breakout moment. There was times in there where he probably could have stopped Liam Williams, and that would have been a real statement. And he just seemed to tap and hold and hug his way to a victory in the end. Liam Williams done himself proud. Maybe when he watches the fight back, he might see opportunities that he didn't take. Certainly Domingo might think that way. But guys, let me know in the comments below, how did you see the fight going? Do you agree that Andre could have done more? Do you think that the way he went about his business tonight was the correct way to win the fight? At the end of the day, the be-all and end-all is the W, and that's what Demetrius Andrade got tonight. He retains the world title. He surely will now chase down one of those big names, which might be a little bit easier for him to get after that kind of performance. But let me know in the comments below how you've seen the fight going. What's next for Andrade? What's next for Liam Williams? Thanks for checking out my post-fight reaction. Hit that subscribe button. Check us out across social media on Instagram and Twitter. And I'll catch you on the next one.